beautiful Thursday afternoon at Prairie Park in Urbana. We welcome you to our coverage of Tigers baseball on the Tigers Media Network. Tonight, the Tigers host crosstown rival Champaign Centennial High School in a rematch of a game that was contested 2 nights ago. The Tigers, despite getting out-hit 16-2, defeated Centennial 8-7 on Tuesday night, and we're back here to do it again on Thursday. Hello, everybody. I'm Joey Wright, flying solo tonight. A game that was supposed to start at 4:30. We are now approaching the 6 o'clock hour. The umpires have just now showed up after a almost hour and a half delay, and we're ready to play some baseball. Could not ask for a better afternoon for this, though. If you're going to wait an hour and a half to play some baseball, this is the weather you want to wait to do that in. Almost 70 degrees, little breeze. Really only a light jacket's all you need on a day like today. The perfect day for baseball. As Tigers coach Gino Hoffman out to home plate now to meet with the umpires, exchange lineups, and get ready to go. We can run you through the starting lineups for both teams today as we're just about ready to go. Leading off for Centennial will be Brandon Alian. He's their first baseman. Batting second, the shortstop, Eric Hall. Corey Hall in right field bats third. Colin Klein, the third baseman, bats cleanup. Then batting fifth, Kendall Green in left field. Designated hitter is Tyler McClure. Then batting seventh in center field, Evan Jordan. Second baseman, Joe Stigler, bats eighth. And batting ninth, the catcher, Dayton Coleman. Pitching for the Chargers will be Trey Ryan. He is not hitting today. Lineup for Urbana leading off. The bottom of the first will be Jordan Smith in left field. Levi Coffey at first base bats second. Jake Welbus is the Tigers shortstop. He'll bat third. Batting fourth, Trey King. He'll be behind the plate. On the mound and batting fifth for the Tigers, Miller Calhoun. Andrew Ellis is at third today. Batting seventh is Amir Ammons, the designated hitter. Alex Poor in right field bats eighth. And Stephen Thompson, the Tigers center fielder, rounds out the order, bats ninth. Not in the order, but still in the field, Zeke Brown will play second base for the Tigers. I mentioned it'll be Miller Calhoun on the mound for Urbana. And Miller's been amped up for this one all week. Found out on Monday that he would be pitching here at home against the Chargers. And he's been psyched. He's ready to go. Talked to him in the dugout before the game, asked him how many outs he said he had in that arm, and he said that he has 21 outs, ready to go. We'll see if he can back it up. I mentioned an 8-7 win for the Tigers against the Chargers at Centennial's Field on Tuesday. A game the Tigers had to come back and win. They got out-hit 16-2. Still managed to find a way to get the job done. Relied on walks and passed balls, things of that sort. And the Tigers enter this one with 5 wins, 8 losses, and 1 tie. That tie was to Oakwood early in the season. Centennial, 3-14. Won 1 game at their Florida tournament over spring break, and they also have wins against Champaign Central. Pretty good win there. And Bloomington, both of those wins in Big 12 play. Calhoun's on the mound, and King is behind the plate. We're just about ready to go here in Urbana. Big thank you for joining us on the Tigers Media Network this afternoon. Tigers win on Tuesday was their first win against Centennial in 10 years. What a lot of the players have been saying. Was reported in the News Gazette, so hopefully they can start their first winning streak against the Chargers in 10 years. As we get set for Brandon Alian to lead off the ball game for Centennial. It is just now 6 o'clock here in Urbana, so we've waited 90 minutes for a rematch of one of the better games of the season. And we're ready to go. Alian striding into the batter's box. This is Tigers Baseball on the Tigers Media Network. Andrew Ellis, the third baseman, trots back out to his position. Calhoun adjusts his cap, and he's ready to go. First pitch of this crosstown rivalry game. Low and in the dirt, skips past King. It's ball 1. Calhoun, known for his accuracy above anything else, fires this one in high and outside for ball 2. You know, you wait, as long as we've waited here today, it can take you a few minutes to really get in the zone, get dialed in, and perform as you'd like to. As the Leons now ahead in the count, 3-0. And takes strike one right down the middle. Three and one. Inside, and they call it a strike. Strike two, the count is full. Calhoun painting the black, got lucky on that call. The full count offering is going to skip past King. That'll be ball four. So Brandon Alian draws a walk in the first plate appearance of the ball game, and now striding in the shortstop, Eric Hall. Hall, a sophomore for these Chargers. Takes ball one. And the Tigers have historically been a pretty young program, now mostly comprised of juniors and seniors. Throw to second, not in time. Alian has himself a stolen base. And yeah, but the Tigers have historically been a pretty young program. Not quite as young this season as they've been, but you like to see those freshmen and sophomores at the varsity level perform at a high level. And obviously the Chargers trust Hall, the sophomore batting second in the order. This is going to get past King off his chest protector. Alian will stride into third, no problem there. And Calhoun's got to settle in here. Not only do you have a runner on third with no outs, he's also behind in the count, 3-1 strike. Grounded to second, Brown gloves it, run will come home, throw to Coffee at first is in time, so the Tigers trade a run for an out as the Chargers go up 1-0. And it's Corey Hall, the right fielder, in for the Tigers. Pitch outside. Ball one. Eric Hall batted left-handed, and Corey Hall batting right-handed. Ball two a little high. And Eric Hall still went opposite field, grounded it to... Well, check that. Not opposite field because he was a left-handed batter. 2-0 to Corey Hall. Inside for ball three. And Calhoun, a little wild here early on. Can't seem to find the zone like he'd like to. Three 0. Inside strike. Miller's been getting lucky with that 3-0 call. That's the second time he's gotten that inside 3-0 pitch called a strike. And in the dirt, ball four. Two walks and three batters for Centennial, and it's Colin Klein, the third baseman, in for his first plate appearance. Lifted, right field, and this is going to be an error out there in right. All the way to the wall, it's going to roll. Rounding third and coming home is Hall, Corey Hall, and Colin Klein into third. He's got himself an RBI. That was Alex Poore out there in right field, misjudged it. Landed behind him, and Centennial up 2-0 early on. Chop to short into the outfield. Will plate another run. Trotting home with ease is Colin Klein, and an RBI single for Kendall Green. Well, the Chargers went up and led for most of the game on Tuesday. So this is not foreign territory for the Tigers. In the dirt, Trey was a little slow to pick it up, and the throw to second's not in time. Kendall Green takes advantage of the ball in the dirt and steals second. And Tyler McClure lifts one into right center. Between the outfielders, finds the gap, and Centennial came ready to play after the delay. Kendall Green comes home, and the Chargers up 4-0. So an RBI double for McClure. Evan Jordan, the center fielder, in. Strike one. Well, now Miller's throwing strikes. Problem is, they're getting hit. Swing and a miss. That was a good pitch. To Jordan, the center fielder. On deck is Joe Stigler, the second baseman. Oh, and that's going to run inside and hit Evan Jordan. So that'll bring up Stigler with Jordan on first and Tyler McClure at second base. Dan Wachtel warming up behind the Tigers' dugout. Gino Hoffman out to the mound. Tigers are going to talk it over. And the Tigers can still get out of this situation without a ton of damage. 4 runs in the first inning is not something that can't be overcome. They did it on Tuesday. Overcame I believe it was a 4-0 deficit early on. So it's not like this game's over already. It's still the top of the first, but the Tigers need to capitalize here. Force out at third, 1 out. I mean, the double play possibility exists. We'll see. Ball 1. And swiping third is Tyler McClure. Stigler holds, or rather Jordan holds at first. Looked like it was a pretty close play over there at third. McClure swiped third there, and the throw back to Calhoun from King. Looked like Ellis had the tag down close to being in time. Ball 1. Not a call worth arguing, but a call that was definitely close. One inside. And what's notable about that is now Evan Jordan moves to second base. I was a little surprised they didn't send him when they sent McClure to third. Stigler strikes out. I was thinking they were going to try and get that double play possibility just, out of existence entirely there. I'd probably call that catcher's indifference on Jordan taking third. Ball gets past King, and he'll field it and get it back to Calhoun. So it's Dayton Coleman in, ahead 1-0. 2 outs, 2 in scoring position. Calhoun paints the black, strike 1 outside. On deck would be Brandon Ali, and we'd go back to the top of the order. Ripped foul down the third base line. There's a little hill behind the third base dugout here at Prairie Park, and that went about halfway up the hill after it was all said and done. Well hit, but a little early on it. Coleman, the 1-2. In the dirt for ball 2. So now deuces all around. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs for number 7, Dayton Coleman. And this is fouled right back to the backstop. We'll do it again. Leon trots over. He'll throw it back to the umpire. 2-2 is outside. So a full count with 2 outs. First base is open. And 2 in scoring position. Ball 4, they say it was high. Coleman will take first, and the base is loaded and 2 outs for Brandon Alian. Alian drew a walk earlier in the inning. Strike 1. Tigers defense not doing anything special here. No shifts, no crazy outfield alignment, and it's hit out to third. Charging in, and it's dropped. It'll score 2 for the Chargers. Dropped out there in left field. Jordan Smith couldn't make the catch. Came in and got to it, just couldn't glove it. And he had to cover a lot of ground there, so not totally, not inexcusable, but still a catch you got to make. And popped up. This will get out of play down the left field line there. To second. Coffey comes over, covers a lot of ground, makes the play at second, charges over to first for the third out. Nice job by Levi Coffey to get over and make the play, but not before the Chargers played 6 runs in the top of the first. And the Tigers' bats will need to answer here in the bottom half. Tigers scoreboard here shows 5-0. I have 6 runs for Centennial. Yep, and now they update the scoreboard to 6. It's one piece of advice I learned. Never trust the scoreboard because it's probably wrong. And Tigers have always had issues keeping that scoreboard updated here at Prairie. It's usually a player in the dugout who runs it. Not sure who's running it today, but that's not really a fun job when you think you have a day off and you just want to watch the game and coach tells you to run the board. So it'll be Corey Hall leading off the top of the second for Centennial. Now for Urbana in the bottom of the first, Jordan Smith, the left fielder. Smith called for an outside strike there. And despite that little flub out there in left field that ended up scoring 2 runs for Centennial, Smith's a pretty good outfielder as he looks at a nasty breaking ball for strike 2. Pretty good outfielder is Smith. Fast and could be a threat for the Tigers if he can reach base. Fouls this one back to Levi Coffey on deck. And we'll redo the 0-2. Swings and misses in the dirt. And he will take first on the dropped third strike. The catcher, Dayton Coleman, didn't quite know what was going on. Tigers dugout started clamoring, go, go, go. Smith goes, and he's at first for Levi Coffey. Coffey, whose walk-off single won the opening night game for the Tigers against Villa Grove Heritage. The junior has showed off his defensive ability at first already today. Takes strike one. And Coffey, this is going to trickle not quite into the outfield, but under the glove of third baseman Colin Klein. Now the Tigers have 2 runners on and no outs for Jake Welbus. Welbus, despite only being a junior, is perhaps the Tigers' best senior. He's a leader. And he lines one down the third base line. It's going to bounce once off the warning track into the wall, and Smith's coming home. To third goes Coffey, an RBI double for Jake Welbus. Gets the Tigers going. Looked like it had a chance to get up and get gone off the bat. Get up, Jake, and get yourself to second with an RBI double. Low for strike one to Trey King. Swings and misses, and inside, strike two. King, much can be said about his defense. Pretty stout offensively, although he'd like to get his numbers up a little bit. Chases one a little bit outside. Kind of nips it into the dirt. We'll do the 0-2 over again. On deck, Miller Calhoun, the pitcher. Although it looks like that's Dan Wachtel in. And a foul ball that I think hit Trey. No harm, no foul. We await the 0-2 again. And Trey Ryan, the Chargers pitcher, he's got a fantastic breaking ball from what we've seen here today. Coming home is Coffey. Throw is in time. He'll be out at the plate. King to first in the fielder's choice, and Welbus takes second. Nice throw from Klein at third. Nice tag from Coleman behind the plate. Dan Wachtel in for Miller Calhoun with 2 on and 1 out. Yeah, a little confusion here as Wachtel's going to charge back into the dugout. Looks like Calhoun will come out and hit. Bit of confusion there on the part of Wachtel. And Miller Calhoun, perhaps his day is not quite over with. We'd expect Wachtel to come in and pitch the top of the second then, but for now it's Miller Calhoun at the plate with 1 out, and he pops one up. It'll barely leave the infield. Runners will hold. At first and second, and Calhoun. The F6 will bring up Ellis. Andrew Ellis, the Tigers. One of their few seniors, perhaps their best senior who's actually a senior. He can really slug the ball over there at third base, so we'll see. He's got 2 on and 2 outs. Ryan will step off. And Andrew, he chased that breaking ball. They're going to say he went around for strike one. It's more a slider than a curveball. But man, does it move. That's outside for ball one. High and tight, ball 2. The lights are on here at Prairie Park. Despite there being plenty of daylight left, this game should end mostly under the lights. 2-1, right up the middle. And it's flubbed at shortstop there by Eric Hall. Everyone's safe. Welbus at third, King at second, Ellis at first for Amir Ammons, the designated hitter. Ammons, his first year of varsity, could come through and put the Tigers ahead in a big situation. Takes a curveball right down the middle for strike 1. Swing and a miss. Trey Ryan ahead, 0-2. And grounded to third, a fair ball down the line. Welbus comes home. Coming home is King, and he'll cut the lead in half. Centennial 6, Tigers 3, with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Man, we're in for a good one tonight, folks. Welbus and King score on the RBI single from Amir Ammons. Ellis to second, Ammons at first, and it's Alex Poor. And Poor, right field, it'll find the glove of Corey Hall. But not before the Tigers plate 3 to battle back from a rough start. And we're headed to the second. Chargers up 6-3, but the Tigers with the momentum. Stephen Thompson will lead off the bottom of the second for Urbana. Jordan Smith, Jake Welbus, and Trey King, the 3 runners who scored for the Tigers. Courtesy of Welbus and Ammons. That hit from Amir was almost a foul ball, is what I'm getting at. I mean, that just kind of skipped over the third base bag. And you need those breaks over the course of the game. He got it. And Corey Hall, who made that last out of the bottom of the first, set to lead things off in the top of the second. It'll be Hall, Klein, and Green for the Chargers. Calhoun on the mound, ready to go. So I guess we're not going to see Wachtel. I guess he got a little over anxious, but we know he's ready to go should Calhoun encounter more struggles. And it's lifted into right center, and it'll fall in front of Poor and behind Zeke Brown at second. And that's a well-played ball from Poor. I think he knew he wasn't going to get it, didn't put himself in a position where he was going to overrun it, let it fall in front of him, made the smart play, and didn't risk perhaps having a runner at second or third with no outs. Colin Klein fouls one back to the backstop. And Kendall Green goes over to retrieve it. And ripped left field. Almost bounces over the wall. And Colin Klein is going to do almost exactly what Jake Welbus did, an RBI double to plate Corey Hall from first. Absolutely smoked that one into left field. Off the bat, just as with Welbus's hit earlier, it looked like it had a chance to get up and get gone. 7-3 the lead for the Chargers. Klein at second with Kendall Green, the left fielder, in. Takes strike one. And he pops one up behind Ellis at third. Nothing the Tigers could do to get that one. Chugging around third and coming home is Colin Klein. And getting into second before it's all said and done is Kendall Green. So just before you can blink, it's 8-3. Once more favoring the Chargers. That'll probably be all we'll see from Calhoun. Yep, he's going to give the ball to Hoffman and walks into the dugout, but I don't have anything too bad to say about that. Just a disappointing outing from Miller there. And he made some good pitches. A few defensive errors cost him there. You look at that dropped fly ball from Jordan Smith that scored two for Centennial. Dan Wachtel's in for the Tigers. Hard-throwing righty. Kendall Green will be at second, and Tyler McClure will be the batter when we resume play. McClure, a double in his first at-bat in the first inning. Later came around to score. Looks like it'll be a clean switch. No defensive adjustments. It'll just be Wachtel in for Calhoun. Well, after today, we'll take some time off. A week off, to be exact. And we've got more Tigers baseball for you. May 3rd as the Tigers host Central. Another crosstown rivalry game, and you can find it right here on the Tigers Media Network. And then softball on May 12th against Richwood. That's a Saturday morning game. Wake up and catch some softball with us. Back for baseball May 15th against Mattoon. That's the Tigers senior night. And then softball senior night May 17th against Peoria Manual. That'll be my senior night as well. My final broadcast on the Tigers Media Network. May 17th against Peoria Manual at 4. Rather 4:30 on the Tigers Media Network. 4 more left after today. Tyler McClure into the batter's box. Lifts one center field to Stephen Thompson. Thompson, center field, not his natural position, but he gloves it. Throw is going to skip under the glove of Welbus at short. And Ellis runs over at third. Fields it, and holding at third will be Kendall Green. Evan Jordan in his first plate, I can't talk tonight. In his first plate appearance, hit by a pitch. This is his first at-bat, takes strike one. On deck, Joe Stigler, who struck out an inning ago. Outside, ball one. And Wachtel has really improved his game since he was a freshman. I remember his freshman year on the JV team. He was wild. Has really improved upon his command. Grounded to short. Welbus can't glove it, and it'll play to run for Centennial. Green comes home to score his second run of the game without too much of an issue. Calling that an RBI single for Evan Jordan. But Dan has really improved, and now he's pretty. I think he's more comfortable in his own ability. Throws in time, and we got Jordan at second base. Shortstop Welbus came over, made the tag. Perfect throw from Trey King. Ball was right there, glove was right there, and Jordan's out at second. But yeah, I think Dan's just a little more comfortable in his own ability. Knows what he's got, doesn't try to do too much. Grounded to short, under the glove of Coffey, and the scoop, the throw is in time. Heads up play from Zeke Brown. Ball went between the legs of Levi, but Brown came over, did what the second baseman's supposed to do, backed the first baseman up, flipped it to Coffey, and that's the third out. Put that in the scorebook as a 4-3, but what that's not going to tell you is just what a smart play from Zeke that was. So to the bottom of the second we go. The Tigers down 9-3. Stephen Thompson will lead it off, and then we'll go to the top of the order. Beautiful sunset behind us here in Urbana. Not a sunset yet, but beautiful sunshine, I guess you could say, behind us here in Urbana. What's notable about that is I'm looking right at a hot air balloon off in the distance, and that is pretty cool. I don't know if I'd ever go up in one of those things. I tell you, they're probably be a little shaky. Thompson is going to get on an E6. Flubbed it short by Eric Hall. And, the Tigers capitalized on errors, walks, and pass balls to come back and win on Tuesday, that 8-7 win we talked about. You don't win getting out-hit 16-2 without astute plays and smart baseball. And hustle. And that's what Stephen Thompson showed quite a bit of there. Busted it down the line, and I think he might have been safe had there been no error. Grounded to third under the glove of Colin Klein. To second goes Thompson. And an E5 allows Jordan Smith to first base. And you could call that a base hit, I'm sure. That was a pretty well-hit ball. But, I mean, that went right between the legs of Evan Jordan. Or rather, Colin Klein. So, it's Levi Coffey in for the Tigers, who reached on an error by Klein in the first inning. Remember, he was thrown out heading to home plate on the grounder from King. And he lifts one, center field, should be playable. Catch is made, and the runners will hold. And that's good contact from Levi. You'd like that to get down or find a gap, but that's a well-hit ball that you'll hit a few times over the course of the season. Can't be too upset with it. And it's Jake Welbus. Ball one is inside. Now, if you're Trey Ryan, do you pitch around Welbus? I certainly do. That ball he hit in the first inning, you can't let him do that again. Same situation here. Perfect breaking ball, finds the zone, strike one. Welbus chases one high and tight. And it's flubbed in center. Thompson waved home by Hoffman. King is going to be waved home. Check that. Smith is going to hold at third, and Thompson comes home. And it's 9-4. King is on deck. Now comes into the box, and he scored before. Thompson comes home, an RBI from Jake. But again, that's an error out there in center field that the Tigers capitalized on. That's how they won on Tuesday, and that's how they're clawing their way back into this one. Trey King takes ball one. So Jordan Smith at third. Popped up right behind the plate, and Dayton Coleman makes the catch. One catcher flies out to another. And a two-out situation for Dan Wachtel. Dan Wachtel, his first at-bat of the game. Inside, ball one. Wachtel, a power guy. He's your typical first baseman. Like, think Major League Baseball, Adam Lind, Adam Dunn, that sort of guy. Can hit for a lot of power. Mark Reynolds, but will strike out a lot. It's kind of hit or miss, I would say is a good way to put what Dan Wachtel brings at the plate, or brings to the table at the plate. In the dirt, ball three. Dan's got a pretty good eye, though. He's not going to chase that and try and go get it too often. Strike two. That was low and inside, and Ryan got the call. So a full count and 2 outs, 2 in scoring position for Dan Wachtel. Swings and misses for strike three. Wachtel strikes out with 2 in scoring position. Ends the bottom of the second for Urbana. We go to the top of the third. Centennial leads 9-4. The Tigers plate 1. But Smith and Welbus still stranded, leaves the Tigers down 5. So Andrew Ellis, Amir Ammons, and Alex Poor will lead off the third for Urbana. Coleman, Alian, and Hall set to stride in for Centennial. Coleman, remember, he drew a walk in the first inning and was stranded at third base. Wachtel, first pitch is outside, ball 1. Pretty good crowd of Centennial fans, parents and students here today. Gloved at third by Ellis, throw to first in time, 1 out. Pretty good crowd of Centennial fans, parents, students here today. And a pretty good crowd of Urbana fans, parents and students here as well. The Centennial contingent kind of here behind the plate by the Chargers dugout. The Tigers crowd more concentrated over down the first base line. to what would be the right of the Tigers dugout. Strike one to Alian. Alian drew a walk in the first inning and still in the first inning. Remember, he was that fly ball out in left field that was ultimately dropped and allowed the Chargers to add to what was at the time a 4-0 lead. It became a 6-0 lead. 0-2 forthcoming from Wachtel. Ball one. And in the dirt inside as well. Wasn't really all that close to hitting Dayton, but still a little more inside than you like in that situation. Or rather, Brandon. Oh, liner right at Welbus. And that's an easy play for Jake. How many times have we seen Welbus on the mound? He also pitches for the Tigers. A comebacker right at him. He's insane at fielding those. I mean, just great reflexes, and he knows when to stick his glove up, and that's easy pickings for him. He just kind of waited on it and stuck his glove up. We have 2 outs. Chopped foul to the Tigers dugout. Eric Hall, our new batter. Drove in a run on a ground out to second in the first inning. And he also recorded the final out of the first inning. Remember that ground ball to first that Levi went over and snagged, then ran back to first, tagged the bag for the third out. So 0 for 2 is Eric Hall, the sophomore. 2-1 now the count. Lifted left center, and it'll fall. In front of Jordan Smith, nothing he could have done there. And a single for Eric Hall. Brings in Corey Hall, the right fielder, drew a walk in the first inning. Has scored twice. Colin Klein is on deck. And a nice strike there from Wachtel, 1-1. High and tight, ball 2. In motion is Hall. And the throw is not in time. Eric Hall has himself a stolen base. We'll see if that has any impact for the Chargers. 2-2 now to Corey Hall with 2 outs in the top of the third inning. And ripped high down the third base line, and it'll go foul. But that had home run distance. No doubt that would have been a home run. The only question was it going to stay fair? And it ultimately went a little left of the foul pole. Not what you want there. Still 2-2 with 2 outs to Corey Hall. Takes ball 3. So a full count with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position for Centennial. Top of the third, they lead 9-4. And fouled onto one of the soccer fields behind the baseball diamond. Luckily, no one was playing soccer back there. And we'll do the full count situation over again. Outside. Hall draws a walk. And Colin Klein, who has singled, doubled, and scored twice, will come in for the Chargers. Two outs and two on for Klein. Klein right back to Wachtel. It's going to trickle past him, but Zeke Brown makes the play, tags second base for the third out. So a warm welcome to our viewers on Facebook Live just joining us. 9-4 favoring Centennial here after 3 innings of play at Prairie Park, rather 2.5 innings of play. We're just about set for the bottom of the third. And it was a big 6-run first inning for the Chargers that has gotten them to where we're at right now. Brandon Aaliyah, Corey Hall, Colin Klein, Kendall Green, Tyler McClure, and Evan Jordan all came home in that big top of the first. Then in the second inning, Corey Hall, Colin Klein, and Kendall Green came home again. And the Tigers were able to get through the third without any damage. Now, the Tigers did answer back to some extent in the bottom of the first. Jordan Smith was driven home on just a rocket of a double from Jake Welbus that got off the bat and looked like it could have been a home run. Ultimately landed at the warning track. So that double played to Jordan Smith, and then Welbus later scored along with Trey King on a double from Amir Ammons. Stephen Thompson scored in the second inning for the Tigers to give them their 4th run, and they now trail by 5 heading into the bottom of the third. It's Andrew Ellis, a senior for this Tigers team, into the batter's box. First pitch into left field, and fielded out there by Kendall Green for the first out. Ellis chased that one a little low. Looked like it was a little beneath the zone. Still got a pretty good amount of his bat on that for the pitch. Fouled behind the backstop, Amir Ammons. Remember, he hit that big RBI double in the first frame. 2 big foul balls in a row. It's 0-2. On deck, Alex Poor, the right fielder. And a solid single from Amir, who's piecing together a pretty nice game thus far. Now 2 for 2, and let me tell you, that found the gap right between the third baseman and the shortstop. Nothing defensively the Chargers could have done there. Ammons at first and Poor at the plate. Poor 0 for 1, lined out to right field in the first. Was the final out of the first inning. One 1-0 forthcoming from Ryan. Lifted high, playable, behind third. Falls between Klein and Hall, Eric Hall. Neither of them could make the play. It's 1-1. On deck, the center fielder, Stephen Thompson. Reached on an error and scored in the second. Chopped to short, Actually, it's going to be Colin Klein running over and fielding it and almost initiating a double play. Ammons is cooked at second. Poor's able to hustle it out and reaches first safely. So Stephen Thompson, who hits the ball hard, always motivated to make a play, needs to do something here for the Tigers as they look to keep pace with the Chargers. One and 0. Strike one. Sun continuing to set here, and now there's a little bit of a shadow right in front of home plate, where the ball starts out in the sunlight and kind of moves into that shadow as it approaches the batter. We'll see if that has any bearing on how these hitters perform. In the dirt, a nice job by Dayton Coleman to stay with it. 2-1. Order flips over after this, and we go back to Jordan Smith. He'll be the next batter for Urbana. Low for ball 3. Thompson's ahead. Takes ball 4, throw over to, Thompson was walked. There was a check over to first on Ammons, rather Poor for whatever reason. Poor will move to second, and Thompson on the walk at first. And now it's Jordan Smith. Reached on an error in the second inning and reached on a drop third strike to lead off the game for the Tigers. Takes an inside strike. Numero uno. Outside strike 2, so Smith's behind. Smith scored the first run of the game for the Tigers in the first. Was in a position to score an inning ago before being stranded at third in the dirt, ball 1. One, 2. Forthcoming from Ryan. Trey Ryan forces Smith to meekly foul one down the first base line. Still 1-2. That's Mark Solodke, the first base coach for the Tigers, who fielded it there. Gino Hoffman is the third base coach for Urbana. As Smith, man, that's that slider. Ran inside, and Smith had no answer. Strike 3, the Tigers leave 2 on. Still trail by 5 after 3 full innings of play. It's 9-4 Centennial. Second time Smith has struck out today, and that's the first time that it's cost him. Coleman held on to that one. So due up for Centennial, Kendall Green, Tyler McClure, and Evan Jordan. Wachtel back out for another half inning for Urbana. Kendall Green has driven in 2 runs today and has scored twice. Low and in the dirt, ball 1. Green rips one down the first base line, gets past Coffey into the outfield. A solid single for Green. Third hit of the game. Brings up Tyler McClure, the DH, with one on and no outs. McClure doubled and later scored in the first inning. Flew out to Stephen Thompson in center field in the second. Check over to first. Nothing going on over there. Green back safely. And a little high, ball one. Wachtel really keeping an eye on Green over there at first. Fires a strike to McClure. Evan Jordan on deck. And taking off is, ooh, a lot went on right there. Green took off for second. Liner right back at Dan, almost took his head off. He got out of the way. It went into the outfield, and it's a single for Tyler McClure. Well, the hit and run became hit and duck for cover and then find out what's going on. But he almost got his glove up and got that. That was almost the play of the year. Evan Jordan in now for the Chargers. Ball one. Well, I'll hold that thought. 1-0. And taking off for second is Jordan, and he'll take it. No throw from King. And the Tigers are just going to let Evan Jordan take first. So the bases are loaded now with no outs for Joe Stigler. And here's a situation for your number 8 hitter. He's struck out and grounded out to second, 0 for 2 today. Blocked by King. It was in the dirt, ball one. Dayton Coleman on deck, and then the top of the order. Ball two. Dan has tight-roped his way out of these situations in the past. I recall last season, finagled his way out of a bases-loaded, no-out situation. Very improbable. I think Coach Hoffman even mentioned it at the banquet. How, what an upset that was. 2-1. But he's going to have some work ahead of him if he wants to do that again. 3-1. Behind to Joe Stigler, the second baseman. Stigler, I mentioned, 0 for 2. Draws a walk. Oh, it's called a strike. Strike 2. Joe Stigler thought it was a walk. I think everyone at Prairie Park thought that was a walk, but he's brought back to the batter's box. We'll do it again. Full count, no outs. And he grounds one. It's fielded at third by Ellis. Throw is going to get under the legs of Trey King, and it's going to score 2. Going to third is Evan Jordan, and Stigler's going to take second by the time it's all said and done. Man, what a play by Ellis over there at third. Throw was a little low, and King let it get past him. So from euphoria to being down 2 more runs, 11-4. And a ball in the dirt that King will pick up. It's 1-0. Dayton Coleman's at the plate, and after Coleman, we go back to the top of the order. Brandon Alian, Eric Hall, and Corey Hall, the next 3 batters. Still no outs for the Tigers here. We're in the top of the 4th. Strike 1 now to Coleman, 1-1. Ball 2. Sun continues to set here at Prairie Park. That shadow I mentioned between the mound and home plate less discernible. This is grounded. Diving effort from Welbus. Throw to first is in time. Welbus throws out Coleman. What a play from across the diamond. Run does come home to score, and that's Evan Jordan. Stigler at second base. And it's Alian, Brandon Alian, the leadoff hitter for these Chargers, taking strike 1. Levi Coffey's had a pretty good game over there at first base. Fouled behind the third base dugout. It's strike 2, now past 7 o'clock here in Urbana. A game that was supposed to start at 4:30 didn't start until 6 o'clock. Umpires were a little late. Lined into left field, could score Stigler. It gets past Smith. Definitely will score Joe Stigler. Now a 13-4 lead for the Chargers. Alian holds up at second base. One out knock brings in a run. And it's Eric Hall, the shortstop. 1 for 3 today. Singled in the third. And 2 groundouts to his name. 13-4, 9-run lead for Centennial. Ball 1, and if the Maroons, rather the Chargers, not the Maroons, opposite of the Maroons, if they can go up by 10 and we get past the 5th inning, that would do it for our ball game. Swing and a miss, it's 1-1. And there's also the 15-run after 4-inning rule. I don't think that Centennial's going to score that many runs this half inning. Could be wrong, though. We'll see. Definitely not if they keep hitting those easy fly balls to Stephen Thompson. Two outs for Corey Hall, who scored twice and walked twice in this one. 4th plate appearance of the game. High ball 1. Want to know? Chopped, foul down the third base line. Almost an RBI for Hall. Instead, it's 1-1. right back to us. Foul to the backstop. It's 1-2. 2 outs. On deck, Colin Klein. Will he get his chance, or are we going to have to wait? Fouled into the seating area there behind the Tigers dugout, and that was a nice jump from Corey Hall. Brandon Olean took off for third. Would have had it. Had that been a ball. Home plate umpire has been a little inconsistent with his zone today, so not quite sure what that would have been. Ball strike. And chopped with some spin on it, right back to the mound, and Welbus charges it, barehands it, throw to Coffey in time, and Jake Welbus shows off his elite defensive skills at short twice that half inning. Headed to the bottom of the fourth, Chargers up 13-4. So bottom four, and the Tigers down 9. And this year's Tigers team never out of a ball game, so we'll see if they can make this one interesting. Good luck to the Tigers journalism and yearbook classes. In action, the IHSA State Journalism Competition tomorrow at Eastern Illinois University, placed second at the sectional competition last Saturday, sending 7 people to state in 8 different categories. Zoe Levine, Ren Wheeling, Shari Gonzalez, Andrew Kowalski, Andreu Allen. Some other people I probably should remember, and myself, all competing tomorrow. State journalism competition at Eastern Illinois University. And I'm excited. I am excited. I've competed at state twice already. And I'm feeling pretty good. But that's not to take anything away from the competition. Placed third last year at the state competition, and I'm hoping to bring home that first place medal tomorrow. Coffey swings and misses at strike 2. Coffey looks at that curveball right down the middle, strike 3. And Trey Ryan, he had a rough first inning. He's settled in nicely, though. Looks like he's got a curveball and a slider. Maybe it's just one pitch that breaks a little differently from time to time, but he's definitely got some north-south movement and some east-west movement on it when he wants to. Welbus flies one into center field, and it's gloved for the second out. Trey King, who reached first and scored in the first inning and flew out to Centennial's catcher Dayton Coleman in the second inning, in for his third plate appearance, third at-bat. Takes that inside, strike 1, not happy about the call. See if that motivates him to do better here. 0-1, grounded to short, gloved. Hustling is king. He is not going to beat the throw. What a nice job there by Centennial's first baseman, Brandon Olean. Throw from Eric Hall. Made him go down there, down to his knees, but he kept his foot on the bag, made the play for the third out. Dan Wachtel will lead things off for the Tigers in the bottom of the 5th inning. But we go to the top of the 5th inning with Centennial up 13-4, and they will be looking to score a run and perhaps head home a little early. And you say that with a grain of salt because we were delayed about an hour and a half here today, waiting for the umpires, a mix-up in that they thought it was a 6:30 game, and everyone else was here at 4. So they ended up getting here about 6 o'clock, and that's when we started. If you're just joining us, I'm Joey Wright. Jason Leggett is behind the camera. Jason, who was also late today. The only man who could be 2.5 hours late and 45 minutes late at the same time is behind the camera. And yeah, it was a big first inning for Centennial. They plated 6 runs, and then you look, a 3-run second inning, and didn't score in the 3rd, but then jumped right back out with a 4-run performance in the 4th inning. And 4 plus 3 plus 6 equals 13. Tigers had a 3-run first inning and then 1 run in the 2nd frame, but have not scored since. And entering the 5th, 13-4 our score. Tigers with a big win against Centennial on Tuesday, that 8-7 win that we've talked about. Tigers got out hit 16-2 and still won. You want to talk improbable. The Tigers are no stranger to that word. Low strike 1. Decline. And Klein lifts one left center field, a base hit. Sun about maybe 60%, 70% of the way set. Now aided by the lights here at Prairie Park. Ball 1. Kendall Green is our batter. In the dirt, Klein is going to capitalize, rolls into second base on the passed ball. That makes things a little easier for Kendall. That runner being at second rather than first. It's really going to help him out a little bit here. And he's ahead 2-0 to boot. And he hits one into left. Holding at third, Colin Klein. And Green, a solid single for him. We'll bring up Tyler McClure. McClure has scored twice, doubled in the first inning. Singled in the 4th. Flew out to Stephen Thompson in center field in the 2nd frame. Runs in and hits him. Tyler McClure hit by the pitch. The 2nd time a Centennial player has been hit by a pitch today. And remember, Evan Jordan hit in the 1st. And it's Evan Jordan, speak of the devil, coming in to bat with the bases loaded, no outs here in the 5th. To short, and Welbus can't do anything with it. It's going to score 1, and a second runner coming home. Kendall Green comes home. It's 15-4 for Centennial. Wheels falling off the bus for the Tigers, down 11. So Klein and Green come home. Brief meeting on the mound here for the Tigers. Gino Hoffman's going to come out and talk to Dan. Dan's going to give up the ball. Zeke Brown will pitch for Urbana, and the return of Miller Calhoun. He'll come into the game, it looks like. (15-4) Centennial. Calhoun's going to come in for Dan. And he'll probably play second base, I'd imagine. Well, yeah, maybe. Maybe second base. That's probably where he'd go because Zeke Brown's going to come in from second base. As we enjoy this beautiful night here in Urbana. Joe Stigler in for Centennial. And a big thanks to our viewers tuning in on Facebook Live tonight, as well as those watching terrestrially on Urbana Public Television and on YouTube. If that had cleared the backstop, that might have hit me. Yeah, no, I wasn't catching that. And that's also fouled out of play off to my right. Outside and in the dirt, ball 2. Zeke Brown, the Tigers' new pitcher. Popped up, right field. Check that second base, and Coffey makes the catch, 2 outs. And Coffey's at second and Calhoun's at first to answer our question, my question, about whether he'd come in and play first or second base. Dayton Coleman, the catcher. Drew a walk in the first inning. He's 0 for 2 since. Strike 1. To second base, rather shortstop, and Welbus gloves it, throw to Calhoun's in time for the 3rd out. For the 2nd out. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, that was a mistake on my end. They happen. Two outs, and inside, ball 1. Another grounder to Welbus. His throw over to Calhoun, pulls Calhoun off the bag. And the tag unable to be applied. Runners at the corners and still 2 outs. The batter, Eric Hall. And Hall takes ball 1 in the dirt. Low and outside. Lifted foul and out of play. Down the third base line. Taking second on the catcher's indifference, Jordan. And Alian to left, gloved by Smith for the third out. So the Tigers down 11. We're headed to the bottom of the fifth. The Tigers need runs on the Tigers Media Network. Again, our next broadcast 1 week from today. Tigers baseball against Central. 4:30 start, we hope, at Prairie Park next week. Then softball on May 12th against Richwoods, Saturday morning. That game starts at 10 a.m. May 15th, senior night for the baseball team against Mattoon. That game starts at 4:30 as well. And our final broadcast, my final broadcast, senior night for the softball team against Peoria Emmanuel, 4:30 p.m. on May 17th. My final broadcast, we think. I know Miller Calhoun wants me in town for some football games next season. So, we'll see, though. Well, you know, if I come out of retirement, it's not going to be for... Yeah, summer softball on the Tigers Media Network. There we go. We will have coverage of youth summer softball all summer long on UPTV. But in terms of Urbana High School events, you know, I anticipate I'll probably swing by if I'm in town and there's a game going on. But it's not going to be like Abram, Washington, where I'm seeking them out and making it a priority. See, Miller Calhoun's in his second at-bat, second plate appearance. And he gets some good aluminum on this one into center field. It's caught, however, for the first out. James Browning fresh in the game for the Tigers, number 44. Second year of varsity ball, fourth year baseball overall for the Tigers, takes ball one. Outside, ball, strike one. Fouled behind the backstop, strike two. I appreciate the kind words, Teresa. Bradley University, by the way, is where I will be attending. Oh, yeah, that was what I was talking about a while ago. Yeah, that's that's grounded, and that gets a piece of Trey Ryan. James Browning is not going to beat it out at first. A nice play at short. Well, I appreciate the good luck at tomorrow's competition. Definitely excited for state. And then next year at Bradley University and beyond, I'm excited. Really a lot to be excited about in the near future, for sure. Amir Ammons is in. He's had a pretty good game for the Tigers. Takes ball one. Behind the backstop, could do it. Coleman gloves it. That's our ball game. Braden Rudisil stranded on deck, and the Tigers meet a 16-4 defeat here tonight at Prairie Park. So they'll split the season series with Centennial, having won 8-7 on Tuesday. So for Everyone here at the Tigers Media Network, Jason Liggett behind our camera tonight. I'm Joey Wright. We thank you for tuning into this presentation of Tigers baseball. Tune in next week. More crosstown rivalry action as the Tigers host the Central Maroons. That's our ball game final score. Centennial 16, Urbana 4.